Hello, 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 and welcome back to Emmen Plays Honkai Star Rail with me, Mooney. Alright, just to give you guys a quick recap, we are playing the story mode of Honkai Star Rail. And um, this has been a new patch with a new story dropping. We did like about a 2 hour stream yesterday as well. And I'm gonna be continuing where I left off. Now, unlike the last time, where we began the game already logged in, I'm gonna show you guys the login sequence this time because there's something new going on which I think is really, really cool. Alright? With that, let's just begin. Alright, where's that game? Normally, when we just log in, we get to see this train thing, and then, we press X and then we're just in the game. But now, I do hope that thing that I want to show y'all actually pops up. Oh, it didn't. Well, ain't that a how do you do? Okay, so, very embarrassing. The thing that I wanted to show y'all didn't exactly pop up, but what's been going on, at least as far as yesterday is concerned, is that there was this animation of Castoris, the current banner character, and with one click it could essentially guide you to the pull screen, right? Now, whether this is a good thing or a bad thing ultimately is the decision of each and every individual player. I need to do my dailies at some point, yikes. But I am of the opinion that it was a nice little shake-up, considering that this is the anniversary patch as well. Um, anyway, just to give y'all a little bit of an update about what's been going on, I uh, have been playing the story mode, and with the oh, there's a claimable reward. Hello, let's go. With the update, there was some cool stuff that happened, including getting the ability to get one character from the from this shop, right? And I ended up getting this one, Ruan Mei. Now, I already have Ruan Mei. She is one of the best break supports that I have. Love her to death. She's the best. Now, the reason why I got her again is because that gives me one Eidolon of hers, E1 Ruan Mei. And this, oh boy, when her ultimate is up, all allies ignore 20% of the target's defense is a massive, massive buff that can land on almost any team, and it would be pretty cool. Alright, nice. So, the team that I have currently is a team that I call my Amphorius team. But since we are about to do a bit of a story mission, I'll keep the first position empty and we'll go pick up another character. Now, let's switch perspectives to that character and continue from where we left off. This is Anaxa, the second character that's going to be released in the second half of this patch, and between you and me, the one that I'm personally saving up for.
That is the sound of thoughts clashing.
I'm saving up for this character for several reasons, alright? First of all, the color on his outfit, this kind of bluish teal looking color, is one of my favorite colors. I also really like this color on other characters, such as Fei Zhao. She also has that color going on. And I also really like this character, Hanya, purely because she has that color going on. She also gives me like goth girl energy, which I think is really cute. But I digress. Now, another thing is Bro has an eye patch over there. And I am a big fan of eye patch characters. I think that they're very cool. It's just one of those things that I like, Another thing is that this guy, his weapon is a gun. As you might have seen from my previous streams, I'm a big boot hill guy. I love that Boot Hill is a cowboy who uses a gun, and now this guy uses a gun as well, so it all lines up, you know? But with Anaxa, I'm gonna need to bring some changes to this team. For instance, I don't really need you, so I'm gonna remove you and replace you with you. And then I'm gonna move you here. Actually, that might not be the right call. I don't know if I'll like, actually get to use this character in battle, which I really hope I do. I'll have Rome there because the buff that she gives is much more important. Okay. Lygus, what's up?
An expected visitor. Welcome
Let's bump up the volume of the game.
once again.
Alright, let's let the dialogue roll on its own.
You know, you could actually skip all the pointless debate and come straight to me to seek an audience with Kefali. I have no reason to refuse you. Do
Doesn't this guy just have a really sick design? Like, what is this?
You may not, but kindness has. Whoever gets hold of Kefali's core flame will get to rule over Akama. She's wary of me, so naturally I had to gain her trust. I would say that debate was not at all pointless.
Very true.
In my view, this individual has gone to great lengths. Are you still willing to let him pass, knowing this?
Yes, very much so. All living creations are always free to visit Kefali's transcendent vessel. This comes with being the world bearer.
In case anybody doesn't know, that lady, Cersei's is actually someone who kinda lives in Anaxa's head. There's a longer reason for why, but the basics of it is that Anaxa was dying and a portion of her soul kinda saved him, so here we are.
Please, go ahead. Let me join. Oh, a bygone myth tells of an occasion where Kefali once answered their followers' questions on the peak of the Holy Mountain. Their followers have since believed that scaling this Titan cliff is one way of being with the god.
Hear that? It's not every day that you get to climb a mountain with Cersei's. You should sing me a hymn of praise.
Titan hymns are beyond me.
Anaxa is like the biggest hater of divinity in this game, and I think that's kind of amusing because he lives in a world where these things are proven to exist. By the way, this is Kefali, the World Titan. Doesn't that design look really sick? I think it's meant to evoke imagery of Atlas from Greek mythology, the Titan that holds up the sky. I personally really like this forearm design with this golden ichor that's like kind of just flowing down the arms. It's such a striking visual. Oh hey, it's just a chest.
Go on ahead. Take this Yanis shortcut, and the long pilgrimage stairway will be...
I have to admit, I never expected you to not ask me anything. Not even my motive.
Because I know very well what it is you are after. As the saying goes, a gentleman helps others achieve their goals. I have a feeling that your theory will be validated at the end of this journey.
Who is this guy? I can't trust him.
I believe Kefali will not deprive you of your right to ask your question, especially now that you're on the brink of death.
Oh, by the way, Anaxa is still dying.
You must be closer to Kefali than anyone else. Wouldn't you agree?
I hope things go as you say, then.
Putting a child of justice into a farcical world is bound to turn it upside down. It is my hope that you bring a much-needed change to this world, which is on the brink of destruction.
But first... You know, between you and me, I wish that we got to manually look for the other receiver and then decode this puzzle.
Honestly,
Being
this
pulled
is
to
my
it
first
feels
time
like
going up to
it's
Dawn
too
Cloud's
easy.
peak.
What a splendid view. Isn't it about time you recognize the magnificence of us Titans?
Well, I don't see how this place is different from those temples in the city. All they have are magnificent facades.
This guy is
But
just
even
not
though I've
having any
come
of
this
it.
far, I'm still doubtful about getting useful clues from him.
I must be getting ahead of myself to be expecting to hear something nice from you.
Oh? Haven't you been in my head for some time now? It's high time you get used to how I feel about things. Alright, we're just a short hike away from Kefali. No time to waste here.
So the intellectual debate from earlier was too draining for you, huh? If Amphorius gets a new lease on life, you should focus on strengthening your body and stop shirking social interactions.
Oh no.
Save your concern.
Bro, don't put on
The
a brave
Titan is in
front.
sight. Can you make it?
Why? Are you going to carry me up if I were to fall now? I know how far I can go, so just hold your tongue and come along.
Fine then. I guess I won't say any more. I'll just wait till your soul dissipates completely to gain control over your body.
Wait. Is that... Cersei's? Hey, look at that.
Huh? What should I be looking at?
That blue version of Cersei's that we are seeing in front is basically this game's representation. Oh, this area, I'm sorry, this world's representation of what memories look like. So there's a chance that Cersei's might have been here before. So let's see what that's about. Whee!
Oh? Why didn't you bring your favorite spear with you on this trip, Nias?
Nias.
Nias.
Nias is a character that we've seen in a
somewhere.
previous patch. This character is actually
unfortunate.
the Titan of Strife,
The black
Nikador.
tide destroyed every last inch of my calyx.
How could that be? Even a creation of Georios, from their prized ores and molten fire, couldn't escape the fate of destruction?
Hey, Cersei's. Do you know a certain Nias?
Nias? No, not that I remember.
What, she doesn't
How did you
remember
even
this?
think up such a strange name?
Either she's lying or she's lost her memory. That's
I
interesting.
just saw him. Nias. A warrior-like figure who was just chatting with you here.
No, I have no such memory. Could you be hallucinating?
Memories are a really big part of this arc because the remembrance path of the Honkai Star Rail lore
This is
is kinda coming in.
spirit.
Oh hey, just a quick moment, dear viewers. There
All things are
seems to
connected
be
by origin and are made of the same
a
essence.
there seems to be a spam bot in chat. Let me deal with it. Nice. Alright. They're gone now. Anyway, long story short, in this game, all of the characters are split into different paths, right? Now, for video game purposes, that's like a, how do you say, class thing. So different paths do different things. Healers, tanks, summoners, like buffing characters, AoE specialists, single target specialists, the middle of whatever that is, and this class, whatever it does. I'm making a joke here because this is a very highly diverse class with a lot of different playstyles in it. But anyway, there is a path, Remembrance, and it has a role in the lore. And Remembrance is all about memories. It's all about, like, it's all about preserving them and remembering them and whatnot, right? And this arc does feature the Remembrance path somewhat. It is the path where Remembrance as a playable path was also introduced, and this mirror gem looking visual of these ghosts is how memories look to others. When we see them. I like that because it's an Axa. You can't just do a prayer ritual because he doesn't bow down to false gods. Ah, see, this is a little different from that, but I think this might be more of a ghost. But this is how you see memories of things that have happened previously. The main character can actually see these things, and they can kind of correct them. Sorry, not correct them, like observe them and learn some things that you know, y'all might not have known. It's a really interesting way to do exposition. And don't worry about that little chat of the spam up there. I've actually deleted it in the chat that really matters. It's just on the screen at the moment. I don't know how to deal with that. Let me attempt it while Anaxa is traveling along here. Hmm.
All things are connected by origin and are made of the same essence.
Hmm.
All things are connected by origin and are made of the same essence. You two again.
Alright, let's see what these two are talking about this time.
Enough about me. Did Cal's ever reply to you?
Well, regrettably.
Seems like the price of becoming a demigod is a lot heftier than we thought.
Look on the bright side, Bias. Since we've
Wait a minute.
Let's just hope we mean as much as the world to him.
Hey, are you seeing that same hallucination again?
Yes, it's still you, Ananias, but you're now talking about a certain Kaos. I'm guessing he's one of your companions?
Chaos. This name sounds just as strange to me.
Never mind. I think I know what this is about. If things are as I thought, then they aren't hallucinations, but the souls of people.
He thinks
What?
he's dying, so he's able to
But
see the souls of people.
if those are the souls of the dead, then what am I?
Beats me. For all I know, you're just an illusion I conjured up in my dying moments. Let's just keep going. As long as I take in more sights and hear more stories.
Know your limits. Wander too far among the dead, and even I might not be able to save you.
Fine.
Okay, so new theory, alright?
If this is indeed as I thought, then this will be very amusing.
So the new theory is basically that oh, okay. So the new theory is that does that do anything? Okay, so as I was saying, currently something that happens in the story is that when certain characters take on the power of these titans, they become demigods, the new hosts of these powers, right? And I think what's going on here is that um, the titans that we now know could have once actually been, mortals who took on these powers from other titans, thereby becoming demigods until they eventually became the gods. And I think that that might be what's going on, which is why Cersei does not remember Nias or having these conversations. Just flying around with his hand thing to see what kind of things I can interact with. Oh, hello. Okay, let's disengage. I think these transparent figures are the souls of the dead, and I think that these memories are essentially suppressed memories from the Titan that is living inside Anaxa's head, that the Titan themselves do not remember. Wait a minute. Okay. Oops. not getting it right. So my thinking currently is that I gotta step on this guy to open this bit, but I gotta be here so that I can fall down and grab the torch. So I gotta move this thing. No, that's not quite right. How about we try this? Let's go! Genius. Exceptional. Fantastic.
Go melt it down. So, we meet again. I'm sure you wouldn't mind a snooping ear.
I'm gonna use this technique just to see what it looks like.
Watch this magic
Oh,
trick.
so cool.
Can you keep going?
Of course. I'm just... If I knew we had to climb a mountain, I wouldn't have come along with you.
I guess this also counts as one aspect of the world-bearing burden. If Amphorius does have a next life, you may want to get your body in shape.
Keep your sarcasm to yourself.
Interesting that this character is identified as question mark, question mark, question mark.
I would sooner throw myself off this cliff and hit rock bottom than exercise even a little.
Listen, that used to be me, but that is not a sustainable lifestyle. So now I am big on exercise. I'm trying to hit the gym and slowly improve.
Helcolithist barbarians.
Helcolithus. Calypso.
She's one of the 7 sages. A member of the Grove? No, she can't be. I would know her name if she really were one of the 7 sages.
Wait a minute.
Hey, Circes. Does the name Calypso ring a bell? Circes? Daggone. Doesn't matter. I can do this myself.
Okay, okay.
Looks like I'm nearly there now. The land of the dead.
Alright, new theory, alright? So these two characters are from a previous version of Amphorius that the current people don't remember because these people became gods. So the real name of Circes was Calypso. But the interesting thing is, Nias is what Nicodor identified himself as, so Nicodor does remember? Huh, intriguing. Let's see what happens next. Anyway, as I was saying, I've been hitting the gym recently, you know, it's something that I
Beautiful old world.
always
Where
thought was
are you
beyond
now?
me. But
Oh, legendary era Chrysia, return to the mortal realm.
after I gave it a try,
Splendid
it was a
gods
matter of
once
just keeping
walked
it
the
up.
paths we walk. Alas, all that's left of that warmth is a hazy mirage.
Why are you chanting that too?
Oh, there's a treasure chest.
Not too shabby.
What is this?
Useful for alchemy.
Quantum damage. Wow. This is for a character who actually doesn't want to be fast. Not a high speed. That's not a thing you see very often. Pretty cool. Alright, so as I was saying, um, essentially, you know, your repetition and building up is kind of the key there. But it is really not something that I thought was my thing. So it's always been kind of like, you know, like, oh, maybe I'll do it one day, but now I'm actually putting the effort in, and it's kind of rewarding. Like, I worked my arms, or rather my upper body, really heavily the last time I went, and for 2 days I had difficulty lifting it. I felt like Orochimaru after he fought the third Hokage. It was actually quite amusing. Anywho, I'm kind of enamored by this marble look that they have for the floor here. Alright, let's see what happens next.
We're here. Finally. So, I don't get to ask the Titan my question, but all of you make for a pleasant surprise, nonetheless. Very well then. Let me uncover the truth for myself. Did I still fail to make it in time? Huh? So, I'm back here again. This is... I can hear it. I hear it from the depths of the tides, behind the closed doors of the void world. A voice ready to tell me something. This time, the voice is a lot clearer than before.
Oh, this
Since we've
art
come
is
this
so
far,
sick.
let's just wait.
Yeah, I'm taking a print screen of this. Oh my goodness. Beautiful.
Lord Nias and Miss
Hey
Calypso,
yo?
are you both here to visit Chaos?
Ain't
too?
that Castoris? What the?
Yes, and we've been waiting for quite some time now.
Huh?
He hasn't answered us. The worst case scenario is that he's
Wait,
already
does
been
she have a
overwhelmed
secret hidden
and
past that
crushed
she
by the
doesn't know
world-bearing
about?
burden.
Like, what is going on?
You're overthinking, Lord Nias. Chaos is so...
Overwhelmed and crushed by the world-bearing burden. Okay, so this kind of like gets me to think that when these people take on the demigod abilities of these titans, that they can overwhelm them.
soul in the area. And besides, we both know Chaos' nature.
So
A
Chaos
deliverer like
is the
him
world-bearing
wouldn't
titan.
fall so readily, much less
A
give up on
deliverer.
all that he holds dear. Isn't that so?
Yes. I have faith in him.
That reminds me. Why are you making this trip alone, Polixia?
Oh, my sister needs more time to make sure the flowers are fine.
Such a pity. Both of you have hearts kinder than anyone else. Yet you are born only to take over Thanatos' divinity.
Everything that I see and hear this time has left me shaken to the core. What may seem like a mundane conversation is in truth a once-in-a-lifetime exchange that has revealed the ultimate answer to Cersei's question. The conjecture has taken shape and must now be solidified into a theorem. Next, I only need to seek verification from Kefali. By doing so, I can answer Cersei's question and reclaim my body. But no, I will not do that. That isn't important. Because another one of my conjectures, one that I have always dreamed of proving,
And Axel
has
is
been
just
proved
kind of having a
right
bit of a
this
crash
very
out.
instant. Fusing a mortal soul with that of a titan to replace said titan. is not a ludicrous idea after all.
What are you thinking about? Is that so? You don't look the slightest bit amazed, though. Plus, you
You
seem to be
girl, you're
strangely
so
familiar
right.
with the
This
city around the
guy
great
just
tree.
gives you the least. But can I also in this moment pause the dialogue a little and talk about this character? This is Hyacinth. I know that she has her fans. I know that there are people who like her and all that, and I think she's a cute character as well. But do you guys know that it's been like 9 months since they released a 4-star character to this game? Like, guys, calm down. Like, we don't need 5 stars every single patch, 2 of them. Can we please get some 4 stars up in this? Right? Like, the 4 stars in this game are actually really good, and a lot of them had really usable kits. I still use some of them to this very day. And yet, the last 4-star to release was Mozart. And why do I bring all of this up while Hyacinth is on the screen? Because she is yet another 5-star. And no offense to anybody who's like a massive Hyacinth fan, but this look is perfect for a 4-star. It's decent, like, outfit, you know, it's not too detailed. Her concept isn't just screaming at you. So why not give us an Emphorius 4-star? Come on, Hoyoverse. Now, that said, let's continue on with the story and see what happens next.
Events of the past, huh? I was also a child when I looked up at Circe's. Their leaves and branches reflected the sparkling stars, and their trunk was like a pillar that supported the sky and ground. I stood at this very spot back then, imagining the day when I could climb to the top of this tree, because I would be the closest I can be to the sky at that spot. Don't read too much into it. I mean, can mortals even hope to reach Aquila's realm? They're a strict and draconian god. Nothing like Circe's. Reason is willing to share what is theirs with others, but Sky only expects people to revere them. You get what I'm saying, right, Denny?
Aw, Danny, that's
After
so
all,
cute.
the titan that imprisoned you and Grey here in Amphorius is none other than Aquila themselves.
Oh, really?
But there will always be people who dream of soaring towards the sky. The Grove has a wealth of research on Aquila, and that is exactly what we are here for. It's just, I never thought Grey would meet with something like that before we set off. As a physician, I should have been there by his side.
So she's a doctor too.
Yeah, there's no rest for the weary, huh? In any case, what we're looking for could be anywhere in this enormous grove. Let's split up to cover more ground. Danny, with your skills, I'm sure those monsters born of the Black Tide will pose no threat to you anyway.
Is it just me or is her delivery a little flat?
Have you forgotten that you're talking to the chief physician of the Twilight Courtyard? Have more faith in me. I'll be just fine.
Okay, so now that has more emotion to it. Silence in here is deafening, says the guy with no voice. Okay, done, hung. Nah, I'm not actually mad about this. Once again, I get why it is like that. It do be like that, you know. Voice actors get your protections. That's all I gotta say. Huh, more similar to humans than Aeons are. Hmm, okay, okay, let's just get cooking. Nah, bruh, you're really on the cusp of something here. So is this really a thing that that little trial was the trial and my character is actually dead and just living thanks to Mem? Oh, okay, looks like Anaxa has left the party. So let's fill that empty spot up with my guy Boothill. This isn't like the best Boothill team ever, but I wanna use I wanna use Mr. Sunday, and currently he's speed tuned. That is to say, his speed has been adjusted to fit tank. This downhung is so much tougher than mine. Anyway, he's been adjusted to work with Boothill. Mr. Sunday usually tends to be very fast. Run! So like I said, I have a thing for gun characters. In this particular case, my love for cowboys and my love for cyborgs just kinda came together. This has gotta be my most favorite character in the game. Everybody has something they love, and this is my thing. We've already been to this area last patch, so that's why a lot of these puzzles and stuff are kinda solved. Alright, let's see what else you got cooking. Come on, give me some combat. A recorded debate between a venerationist and a nosporist scholar. It's okay, so there's only fragments. We all recall the state that dared touch the sky, but what were they really? Just blind masses manipulated by ambitious politicians who dared to challenge the Titan's authority? A complete meaningless attempt. An absolute mistake. You venerationists have bowed to the Titans for so long that you have forgotten a scholar's true purpose. Okay, I see what's going on here. So a venerationist is an individual whose whole shtick is that they really respect and venerate the Titans, like they see them as gods. Whereas a nosporist seems to be the opposite of that. So somebody who doesn't really vibe with the Titans, right? So I suppose a nosporist is where Anaxa would be. Nosporist, making a mistake does not mean the act was meaningless. Even those students new to the grove understand this basic this from basic logic lessons. An entire city-state reduced to ashes proved Skyship's construction was a mistake. To me, that is precisely the meaning they achieved through this sacrifice. Am I hearing this right? Such a statement, are you converting to venerationism? No, I am simply explaining the matter from another perspective. Wait a minute, an entire city reduced to ashes because they tried to make skyships to go into the sky, to go beyond the sky, like spaceships. So, okay, okay. So they did try to make this stuff, but something happened which prevented them from actually leaving the planet. See, it's getting more interesting now. Hmm. Hey, yo, there be some guys. Okay, let's
Locked and loaded. Waiting in line for a bullet? Bring it on. There's no reasoning with you, those with the loaded gun.
One of the things I love the most about Boot Hill is that when you use his ult, you can actually see the enemy that you're targeting kind of reflected on the little wanted poster there.
Some value, I suppose. Existence is unity.
I'll overcome the thorns. Down, farewell. All you stand still. Haven't eaten yet.
Interesting. Okay, I might actually need Fugue.
Let's do it.
May the foul stench
There's
just be
no
quick.
reasoning with you, those with the loaded gun. Those who dig the grave.
Oh, that was a mistake. Okay,
Grace
Mr.
and
Sunday,
elegance.
I'm gonna have to put you back in the...
Every petal and all will be
What's the
swept
word for
away
it?
by the wind.
Put you back in the...
Heard the call.
on ice for now. I don't think you're the right person for the job, unfortunately.
Serenity is before me. Waiting in line for a book. All you stand still. Bring it on. Waiting in line for a bullet.
I'm gonna retreat because a break effect character who can't break. Hey yo, where did they go? Whatever. Sorry, Mr. Sunday, as much as I like to use you, you're not the guy for this job. Fugue. Here we go. Nice. Yo, where did they go? Did that count as defeating the enemy? Because that's really unfortunate. I actually wanted to fight them all. Oh well, next time. Ah, here we go. Okay, I just got booted back a little bit further. Alright. Let's go in
Incense ascends.
guns
Sound
blazing.
Not yet time to return. Eternal. Have we met?
Now we're about to cook.
Share good fortunes.
Alright.
Let's do. There's no reasoning with you bunch anymore.
So this is the bird, right?
Those with the loaded gun.
That was the bird on the alt thing there. Alright. Nice.
Be of your body and mind. Every petal all will be
Oh, the
swept
Ruan May
away by
buff
the
wasn't
wind.
even up. Okay, okay. My goodness.
Seize this fine
Nice.
moment.
Alright.
Dream vanished.
All you stand still. Bring it on.
May the foul stench dissipate. Yeah.
Let's duel. There's no reasoning with you. Those with the loaded gun. Those who dig the grave.
Not the best possible move, but we'll see.
Bring it on.
Now I'm gonna switch this
Unite our
particular
goals.
buff over to you.
Allow me to purge the root of the problem. Time to cleanse the filth. Enjoying yourself?
Haven't eaten yet.
No, I actually haven't eaten yet after work today.
Waiting in line for a bullet.
Does that cowboy run faster than the others, says Trix. Hi, Trix. Just, you know, kind of playing the story mode for today. It's not that he runs faster than others. There are characters that do. I'll show you a little bit later. It's more that there's this kind of interesting buff in this zone that kind of looks like this cute little pig guy. And when you take him out, it's just like a breakable item. You actually end up moving faster. It's pretty cute. Whoops, I had a little misplay over there, but that's fine. Oh no. Maybe not so fine.
Share good fortunes.
This is just to end this battle. Alright, where's...
Remember this. When it's time to shoot, quit yapping.
Okay, where's that thing? I'll try to find one. I did not think that I would have Master Oogway quoted back to me today, but always a pleasure. Right, let's try it with Dan Heng, you know, like since he's the guy in the story. But also, let me let you know that some characters do run faster than others, like this one. Like when you use her technique, she's just super fast. Like this is one of her character traits, that she's like a speedster, right? And when this like whirlpool thing is going on, she kind of pulls enemies to her, and you can kind of smack them all with one hit. It's pretty cool. But anyway, leaving her out of this, let's go back to Mr. Daniel Hung. Alright, story done, Hung. What kind of characters? Embarrassingly, I am not too knowledgeable about the things Dan Heng can do. Let's see, Dan Heng is definitely gonna need a healer, so let's add her. They already kind of know each other anyways. And then what? What happens if it's a weakness that doesn't correspond with Dan Heng? So we'll add her to compensate for that. So where was she again? Okay, Fugue. And the last person to add to a Dan Heng team, perhaps Bronya, right? No, let's add Mr. Sunday. That way he can do what Bronya does. Okay, let's see how well these characters do. So I can't even take a look at story Dan Heng's abilities and stuff. Okay, whatever. Okay, let's see. Deals wind damage. If the enemy is slowed, okay, how do you slow things? When he becomes target of an ally's ability, his next attack's wind resistance penetration is increased. Okay, alright, that's pretty interesting. Deals wind damage. Okay, so I need to crit with Mr. Dan Heng to trigger the slow, and when they are slowed, there's an extra damage from his ult. So that's how Dan Heng works. Alright, Mr. Sunday is gonna work quite nicely because he has the ability to give a little bit of a crit bonus as well as a what's the word for it? Crit damage bonus. Looks like Hyacinth is being harangued by some people. Ooh, interesting. Okay, maybe
This will strengthen our position.
maybe I strike you, kick it off. Daniel is not the black hole guy. This is the spear guy who has like a tree in his ult. A feature which is also shared by this character called Blade. The black hole guy is called Welt, a word which in German apparently means
Don't hesitate.
world. What was the last 5-star that I pulled? I would say the last 5-star that I pulled is actually Fugue over here. Um, this character, who is in the number 3 position, right? For me, right, when it comes to pulling characters in this game, the thing that there's like a hierarchy of order in what I consider to be priorities. First priority, do I really like this character's design? And I don't just mean like it to a normal amount, like do I love them? Does it really appeal to my aesthetics, right? Which is one of the reasons why I went for Boot Hill. I like cowboys, I like robots. When you mix them together, what do you get? You get a good time. Now, the second thing is, will this character help make the characters that I love the most do the best that they can do? In other words, like, are there synergies that exist, right? So in the case of these two characters, even though I think they're alright, right, I'm not a big like fox girl guy, right? Controversial, I know. I'm not a big like dragon girl guy either, but the benefit that they give to a break effect team is very tangible, and I really love that. So there they are, right? Now, Mr. Sunday I pulled, I'ma admit, because I think he's pretty cool. I liked his role in the story, I like his voice, I like his personality. I think that he's a very intelligent and cunning character, so I really vibe with it. And so the last 5-star I ended up pulling was Fugue over there. Do I play this off stream at all? Honestly, my guy, majority I play off stream. Actually, I have this thing where like every day when I get off work or whatever, the first thing I do, get on this game, do my dailies or my weeklies as the case may be, and then I just leave it. When there's a new storyline, I try to finish this on stream in little bits of chunks, because that way it gives me motivation to play, right? And also not overdo it and just finish the whole thing in a single day and burn myself out. And it also gives some fun content for people to enjoy as well, I hope. Like, one of the problems for me with this game once upon a time is that sometimes when I get obsessed with it, I play it too much and it burns me out. So in moderation is how I do it. For me, I would say my favorite thing about this game is not even the story, actually. It is the end game content. That is the thing that I do all the effort that I put into this game for. Like, why do I build my characters? Why do I roll for 5 stars? Why do I try to get weapons? All of which because I really like challenging the end game content. There are several, you know, kind of like Spiral Abyss from Genshin, but better. And it tests different things, like how good are you versus like singular bosses, how good are you versus waves of enemies, how good are you versus like taking out enemies within a set number of time. And all of that is just the ultimate test of you and your character building and everything, and I really love doing it. And I mean, I really enjoy the story. I'm usually a story guy, but the fact that this game can entertain me as a game, like on the player level for playing it, is my main reason for really being so into it. But, you know, there is always the chance that I could be too into it and kind of mess myself up.
Let's seize this fine moment.
Okay, so he is slowed now. And I will give you this buff.
Unite our goals. May the foul stench just
Windrest penetration activated.
be of your body and mine.
Mr. Sunday, let's bring Dan Hung back.
You're a stubborn one.
Fighting is meaningless.
You say that.
The truth of life and death, revealed in an instant.
I really like this ult. I think it looks really cool. Oh, no, I don't just use my break team. The thing about this game is that if you want to clear the end game content, you need a minimum of 2 teams, right? I'm gonna get out of this battle and show you a little bit of what I'm working with, but the essential logic is that you need 2 teams. So a minimum of
Don't
8
hesitate.
characters need to be built. Okay, fine, done. I won't hesitate.
It's but a vision.
This was one of the sickest ults for me when the game began. I know that it's not like the strongest or the coolest or whatever, but I always thought it was pretty nice
The
for what it
longer
was.
has vanished.
Yeah, but anyway, Yeah, so Break Effect is one playstyle that is available in this game that I really like. Another playstyle I personally really like is the follow-up playstyle, which basically means when one person attacks, someone follows up with another attack kind of deal, right? And it's a whole other
Feeling
ball game
tired
with that.
already?
I also
Feel a
really
little
like
fire into the racing?
the dot playstyle, you know, damage over time. But the problem with the dot playstyle is that for whatever reason, it just gets no love. Like, it's been around for such a long time, but like you don't really get a lot of dot supports, you don't really get a lot of dot
Have we met?
enablers and stuff
You're
like that,
next.
and that makes me quite sad. This is a really fun playstyle and it could really go somewhere, right? But because Hoyoverse are so hesitant about developing this playstyle for whatever reason, I don't really get to use it very often. Okay, okay, bro is slowed. Let's see what this alt
The
can
truth
do.
of life and death, revealed in an instant.
Ooh, the ball thing on his spear is kind of swirling around. I never noticed that before.
The sanctuary is but a vision.
Ooh, that's sick. Okay, so as I was saying, I have quite a few teams that I'm working with, right? Okay, you can't exactly see it that way. Okay. All right. Let's share some examples. This is a break effect character. So where are you? Okay, there you are. This team is all about supporting this guy. Each of these characters have buffs that make this guy pop off that much harder, right? But if you take, for instance, where are you, March, my beloved? There you are. This team, this team is a follow-up attack team. You know what? Let's just use this for the next couple of battles, and you will see what the vibe is. It's a completely different style. Um, People soloing the section of the end game like they do in Genshin. Let me talk a little bit about the end game. Anybody who's here for the story, excuse me, this is just a bit of a tangent. This game has, I would say, 5 different types of end game content. Now, this stuff, Simulated Universe and Divergent Universe, is a little different because it's like a roguelike mode, right? You take your characters through randomly generated rooms that, you know, when you win, you get some buffs and you kind of stack the buffs and you go on until the end. It's a fun mode. But this is the true test. We have 3 things: Forgotten Hall, Pure Fiction, and Apocalyptic Shadow, right? And these 3 things are meant to be fought and challenged in 3 different ways, right? So for instance, Apocalyptic Shadow is all about fighting big souped up versions of bosses, right? Whereas Pure Fiction is about fighting waves and waves of enemies. And Forgotten Hall is about fighting enemies, a set number, in a certain number of turns. So it is very difficult, almost nigh impossible. I don't know, even know if it's possible to actually clear any of these content with just, first of all, one character, but also secondly with the same team always. Like, you gotta put a little thought into it. You gotta put a little effort in. Like, me myself, one of the admitted weaknesses of my account is that when I pick the characters that I really like, I usually end up picking characters of the hunt path, right? Deals extraordinary amount of single target damage and the main damage dealer against elite enemies. Now the problem is we also need a little bit of this, a little bit of this, right? Like, we need to be dealing more to more than one. But because I ended up rolling for characters who I like the most, I ended up with a lot more hunt characters. So having to deal with content tailored for characters who are not of the type that I specialize in,
Really now? This is way more trouble than I could have asked for.
it can be quite the fun challenge as well. will I get bodied if I go in solo? Now, I want to ask you a follow-up question so I can give you the most accurate answer. Like, when you say solo, are you talking about one character, or are you talking about one team? Because unlike a Genshin, right? Because this is kind of a turn-based thing, and there's no dodging involved, you are gonna get hit. So, it is a lot harder to do this game as like one solo character. Oh, you're about to see something spectacular. Alright, anyway, this battle can kind of wait. There are some characters in this game, who are really good at self-sustaining. Hey now, I wouldn't say that this game doesn't require skill, alright? I think it requires a different kind of skill. Now, if it's an active game like Genshin or Wuthering Waves, the skill that is really being tested, in addition to character building, is also your reflexes, right? Are you able to dodge and iframe the moves? Are you able to do your rotations correctly? These kind of thing. But in this game, because these are kind of static and there's a slower pace to it, what you're really being tested on is character building, that's one thing, but also strategy. Like, there is a measure of strategy that goes into it. When do you use which move? Which characters do you pair with each other? Like, how do you make them pop off the best, right? Like, preparation and execution of a good plan is what really this game is all about. Now, as I was saying, there are some characters that have really good self-sustain. These characters are essentially able to do some types of endgame content just by themselves. These are characters who usually have the mechanic of lose HP to do damage, but they're also blessed with the ability to kind of regain the HP that they are losing. So, I will try to show you one character that I have that is like this, that fits into this playstyle. Their name is Blade, which I think is just like the coolest name ever, but you know, I will admit it is ultimately a matter of taste.
Bust. Or maybe I'll take it off. Watch your head.
By the way, that's a follow-up attack. Oh, girl.
You'll make good practice. Listen to the final song of life. Resonate all together.
So, Fei Zhao is one of the... I think she is the strongest follow-up DPS at the moment. Her whole thing is that not only does she use follow-up attacks, but she causes other follow-up characters to use attacks. Now, my reason for getting her is that I just think that she's very attractive, especially when she has a giant axe on her shoulder. I think that's just very hot. Okay, anyway, check this out, right? She attacks, and she follows up, and March follows up, and she follows up to that, and this guy follows up, and it's... This team is what I like to call the cutscene simulator. And the reason why the character who is in the last position, Robin, is here is because her ult is very handy. So, what it can basically do is, I'm just gonna trigger it just for fun, so that you can see what it's about. Check this out. So all the characters kind of get their turn immediately, and then Robin will just kind of sing in the background, and you know, it's our turn to basically do some cool stuff. So let's unload some ults onto these guys, right? This is this character's ult, which I find very funny. She learned sword fighting. Cooked. Alright, now this one.
I venture forth to hunt.
As much as I like her with her axe and I like her with her gunblade things,
Always soaring. Forever triumphant.
I love that she's just gonna throw hands. Like, she even kinda discarded her coat thing. So check this out. This is like her domain expansion if you are into JJK. Oh my god, I didn't crit. I have such a high crit rate too, bruh. Exactly, exactly. There is a little bit of a head game going on
The
here
black
too.
tide is remarkably quick to detect the light of Amphorius. So or rather, the blessings of the sky. Anyway, never mind that for now. Here, you might.
What is examining another perspective of Euthyphro. Normally the sky is above when we stand on our heads, it is below our feet. I'm just reading this real quick because I feel like this is a little bit of a hint about some lore stuff that's going on in the back. Anaxagoras.
This is new. I didn't know Professor Anaxa. Might is an understatement. Anaxa has never been one to venerate the gods, nor has he ever found it within himself to put any faith in the prophecy. People have come to think of him as a heretic, even in a place as liberal as the Grove. Yet, it is also this very blasphemer that Circe's favors. Fate sure works in mysterious ways.
Am I crazy for thinking this character's voice acting is a little flat? Like there's not a lot of emotion going on here?
Oh, let me have a look.
Hyacine.
By the looks of them, these scrolls are records of two conversations that took place in the same setting. What? Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, sure, let's
The
ask.
Grove of Epiphany is home to 7 schools of thought. While all 7 schools are founded on the ideologies of Thalesis, the first scholar, each is unique in its own way. Among them, the Venerationists revere and worship the
Ha, I
most.
knew it.
As the sage of the Venerationists, Euthyphro has always been at loggerheads with Anaxa. If we were to place the 7 sages on the scales of Talanton, Anaxa and Euthyphro would be placed on opposite sides of the
Okay.
balance.
Why was it?
Nearly everyone in Amphorius has heard the story of the skyships by now. Aquila's stature is loftier than the heavens, and their divine retribution is
See,
merciless.
this is really sus, right? The one time they tried to build skyships, they
That's
got
why
utterly
it's no use building
nerfed.
giant skyfaring ships. Oh, but I do wonder if a supercharged mini Trevi cannon could slip past their watch. Newsporists primarily study the application of alchemy in soul repair. Everyone considers Anaxa a blasphemer, but that has never stopped him from sharing his ideas, no matter how taboo. If you must say that he's hiding something, then it's likely what lies beneath his eye patch.
Listen, the only thing cooler than an eye patch character is an eye patch character with a secret under the eye patch. I think that's awesome.
Anaxa often says that every failure brings us one step closer to the truth. Perhaps
That's true.
to him, the crash of the skyship carries a different interpretation. The firmament is not impenetrable. On the contrary, it was precisely because the skyship represented the first step toward breaking free from the shackles of the earth that it provoked the wrath of the Sky Titan and brought divine punishment upon itself. It's a shame that the majority of the Grove's research on Aquila was headed by the Venerationists, with sacrificial rituals making up a predominant part of their findings. Discourse about more esoteric subject matters in relation to Aquila dwindled even further after the skyship incident. So much so that even this scroll is completely new to me.
Okay, okay. Anaxa contracting secret experiments of some sort.
That's what I'd like to know. What are these experiments he's involved in? I have a bad feeling about this. Could there be more to what happened at the Grove?
I'm gonna switch up the characters once again because you were talking about solo sustains, right? I'm gonna bring out quite possibly the hardest to kill character that I have. Mm, This is Blade. This is a character that was released in some 1 point whatever patch, and his whole thing is I lose HP to do damage, and he also has like self-sustains built into his kit. So you remember that I said aside from these three things that there are, these two modes, the roguelike modes, right? This guy absolutely cooks in those modes, right? Like not so much the Divergent universe, but in the simulated universe, you have this regular version of it, which basically involves you going through a bunch of randomly generated worlds and fighting enemies or whatever. And this guy, I've managed to clear every simulated universe world at its highest difficulty with just him alone. Stacking the right buffs on this guy makes him absolutely unkillable. So if you want that solo sustaining DPS experience, characters like Blade and the recently released where can I show this character? Okay, give me a sec. Characters like Blade and the recently released Mighty are a great example of these kind of like self-sustaining characters. Though I must warn you, the days where this was the strongest DPS in the game are long past. I just think he's cool as heck. Anyway, here's the little guy. If you break this thing, you can actually run faster. It's a feature in this world. Check this out. Woo.
This is the Library of Philia, a place where the Grove stores its collection of tomes. Other than books written by the 7 schools, you can also find philosophical texts, ballads, and religious writings from the Outlands here. Cities that desire to learn from the Grove were apparently expected to contribute knowledge of equal value.
Hey,
to
that
what they saw.
thing in the back is pulsating, right? And it's creating this kind of sound like a heartbeat. Do you hear
We've
that?
had more than our fair share of hilarious episodes over the years. For instance, it's said that the Erythrocheramists once borrowed a manuscript from a certain author, but ended up returning a copy instead of the original. What's more, the original manuscript was supposedly then hidden here. Nice? No need to hold yourself back, Danny. You can just tell it like it is. Their behavior was no different from bandits. Whew. You've got me there. Some said you couldn't even find a dictionary in Castrum Kremnos, so I guess they were
She's
spared.
calling them stupid.
There are too many books in the Library of Philia. Flipping through them all will take too long. Why don't we use the Biblioslate to search for the texts we need? We can bring them back to Akama for reading after that.
It's nice to be able to run this fast, I think. Oh, what's all this then?
Ugh, it's so dusty in here. I can already see what they must have written. Anaxa has no respect for the gods. His very existence undermines order in our society. They're probably all things like that. Why else would they call him the great performer? When Anaxer established his school of thought, the first thing he apparently did was read his own work to everyone. Are the Titans
Pretty
truly an
based.
accurate reflection of what humans think gods should be? Worlds created by gods are indubitably perfect, but what of Amphorius? Only foolishness and insensitivity everywhere you turn. They marched him straight to the seat of judgment before he could finish. Though what he took on in the end was more of a debate than an actual trial. He had to address every one of the scholar's allegations, or face expulsion from the grove. The first allegation was... Do you agree that since the Titans created the heavens and earth, so the mountains, rivers, and seas must likewise be their creations? Anaxes said the same thing then. Needless to say, his critics didn't take kindly to his answer, so they followed up with a second allegation. You claim to be studying souls, yet you are, in fact, defiling them and committing acts condemned by the gods. Do you admit it?
Oh wow. Big words.
Anaxa always wears an eye patch, never removing it, even when alone. Some say he used one of his eyes as an alchemical ingredient.
Oh damn.
Every being in the world owes their safekeeping to Kifili, and this is even more so for the Chrysos heirs who have divine blood coursing through them. If he has really done something of that nature, then it'd indeed be sacrilegious. Thankfully, they had no way to prove it, so it amounted to nothing more than an allegation in the end. One by one, Anaxa engaged in wars of words against those who would challenge him. Toward the end, a scholar asked him, Anaxagoras, have you any respect for the gods? It was only after a brief silence that he answered, I have never denied that Titans are meant to be noble constructs. Yes, I'm not sure how that controversy was eventually resolved, but what's for certain at least is that Anaxa was allowed to stay in the grove where he continued his research, despite being regarded as a heretic.
Interesting.
By the
I
way,
like this character more and
this
more the
stack
more I
of
hear about him.
letters has reminded me of a place in the grove. We may find clues there that aren't on the teleslate. I'm talking about Anax's alchemy lab, hidden between the cornerstones. It's a well-kept secret. Among the 7 sages, excluding the nominal chief sage, each has a private sanctuary where they can conduct research undisturbed in their free time. Even the administrators of the Library of Philia are restricted from accessing those places and documenting the sage's research. But with the grove in this state, I'm sure Anaxa won't be mad even if we sneak into the lab for a short while. Right?
Sure. How about we say that with a little bit of feeling? Ooh. Hello? What the? Ah, here we go. Okay, so it's a water wheel, like an elevator, but through a wheel. It's kind of cool, I guess.
place. But where is everything?
Huh.
Materials for alchemical experiments, matrix diagrams, and even the seal to the lab. They're all gone.
Did somebody
The
loot his lab? That's interesting.
No, not even close. Not only are alchemy experiments high-risk activities, but Professor Anaxa also has a penchant for you. Huh? That bookshelf over there.
The Holy Maiden of Yanosopolis. Tribi, Trian, and Trinon. Descendants of the Holy Maiden from the Temple of the Three Fates. Gold Weaver Aglaya of Okama from the Nestia priestly family. The Prince of Custom Kremnos, Hyacinth of the Twilight Courtyard. All of their ancestry have varying degrees of connection to the divine titans or their divine authorities. Does the golden blood come from the heritage of the priest family or the royal bloodlines? Anaxagoras, I myself show no such connection. Carefully the creator. What criteria did they use to create the golden blood to shape the Chrysos heirs? Yet Castoris, the servant of death from Idonia, her lineage is neither titan nor titan priest nor demigod, but she has walked the earth for at least a millennium. What? That's wild. With the power to grant death to humans, where did this power come from? Another legend speaks of the Another text speaks of the dragon legend of Styxia. Alchemical extraction of soul ripped from the dragon corpses is intriguing. Dragons appear to be Titan's creations. Perhaps there is a way to reverse this process, using, using alchemy to refuse human souls with Titan creations. Increasing the purity and divinity of golden blood towards the absolute. This theory must be tested, the experiments to be arranged.
What's going on? Anaxa is conducting research on our friends in Okama and me? It wouldn't have been so strange if he had focused only on Cassie, given her own curiosity about her origins. Plus, considering that the new sporists have crafted omnipotent now, it seems Anaxa's objective was never... Danny, look at this. I have a bad feeling about this.
The previous approach has flaws. Fusing human souls with Titan creations do not purify golden blood. Even Titan creations are contaminants to the Chrysosaur's golden blood. Soul fusion between humans and creations merely repairs impurities from the soul or maintains a connection to dying souls. While creation myths tell us that Chrysos heirs had and other creations were all made by Titans, their nature differs fundamentally. Titans' creations are no intermediate products of an alchemical process, and the Chrysos heirs are closer to the Titans than the creations. In other words, I have not considered the Titan creations equal to Chrysos heirs. The hypothesis I should focus on is one pointed towards the Titans themselves. Such rare stances to study Titans demand a meticulous selection of research subjects. Living Titans prove impossible to restrain, and dead Titans offer no insights worth pursuing. But dying Titans, they are the perfect research subject. Whoa, bro, what are you up to? Only by understanding the fundamentals of creation can we ensure perfection at the moment of everything's birth. Through my own hands, I will melt a Titan and reach the true essence of the soul.
His fear. It's come true. After going through his notes, I think I can piece it all together now. Anaxa was carrying out experiments on soul transmutation. Yes, this is what he was secretly conducting research on. Something he had to keep hidden from others. Compared to his public speeches, this is the real blasphemy. Oh, I just thought of something. Do you remember when the Black Tide was approaching? The Grove had planned to send Cersei's core flame to a safe place. But an accident happened along the way, and Anaxa lost his life in the process?
Yeah, I remember that. That was last patch.
That's right. But what if Professor Anaxa's fusion with the core flame of reason wasn't an accident? Put yourself in his shoes, knowing that the Black Tide was closing in and your time was...
I think that they're kind of hinting towards Anaxa having fused himself with with uh, Cersei's soul as like Anaxa doing something bad or wrong. Which, I mean, I'm not above. Just because I like the character doesn't mean that I need them to be perfect. If I felt that way, I wouldn't like Mr. Sunday. But like, I remember last patch that this was about Anaxa splitting the soul into a few pieces when one of them reacted to him and fused with him to save his life when he was being injured or hurt.
Exactly. When the Black Tide came, the true reason Anaxa headed to the Luminary Throne was to transmute and fuse himself with the Titan's core flame. No. Judging from how he reacted after the event, the results came as a surprise. Maybe he failed to consider the possibility that Cersei's would make a similar decision. The manuscripts detailing all the alchemical formulae have been taken away. His research is still ongoing. Like, what? There's only one Titan left in the world now. No.
Oh yeah, the last time we saw Anaxa going towards the World Titan, right? And I think that this scene overall is meant to convey the idea that Anaxa wants to do something untoward towards this Titan, right? Like something bad, like try to build him up as, oh, this guy's up to no good.
He's after Kefali.
And then we switch perspectives.
Sir, this sky above us, it's not real.
This is what I've been saying! I don't think it is!
Of course not. This
oh,
is
okay,
just
you're talking about the
from a projection device used for
frickin',
educational
like,
purposes, sir.
planetarium over here.
The day-night cycle has been lost to this world. So that students like you may still learn about the night sky, astronomers have harnessed the Titan's miraculous power to manipulate the light, projecting the nights of the past here for you. Much like how the sky above the Holy City is also illuminated by Kefali's dawn device.
Oh yeah, Okama, the city, does not have night, by the way.
Akama are fake too.
You mustn't conclude that, Anaxa. You should know that only a child would expose a trick and be proud of it. Often people know more than they let on. They simply choose to feign ignorance because they have no other choice.
It's kind of a stupid thing for a professor of education to say.
Tale of Genesis, accepting wholesale whatever the priests preach. But we're different. We've already walked out of the firelit cave of ignorance.
The firelit cave of ignorance is a very interesting reference to Plato's allegory of the cave.
That we live in a world where titans make the rules. Even when we look at the sky, we're only seeing what they allow us to see. rather than gazing at this mockery of a night sky fabricated by them for the rest of my life. Why shouldn't I be the one to take control of the projection device instead?
See, further like
So
hinting
much
to the
time
idea
has
that
passed
Anaxa might be
since
up
you
to something
sowed
no
the
good.
seeds of
If he
doubt
actually
in
tries
my
to kill the
heart,
Titan, I'll
child.
be very surprised.
Many a night, I find
I
myself
expect a
penning
twist.
down all my theories and wild ideas, only to burn them to ashes when I open my eyes in the day.
Why? Because we'll face death by burning if word gets out?
As a sage of the Venerationists, my soul has already become inextricably linked to the great tree. Every word I say and every move I make is certain to influence every leaf, every branch, even the tree itself. But above all else, my days are numbered. Instinctively, I have my doubts about the golden blood and the human soul, yet I have no means of verifying them. The golden blood in my veins is woefully thin, and I am loath to waste what little time I have left obsessing over a hypothesis that cannot even be proven in the first place.
But I can, sir. I can do it for us. The time is right. Give me all that I need, and I shall accomplish this grand feat on your behalf.
You're right. I shall do just that. In the next meeting of the sages, I will spare no efforts fighting for the rights you deserve. Go. Establish your own school of thought. Find out what we are. Become the one who conquers the ultimate truths of the world.
Child of humanity. You didn't go to such lengths for an audience with Kefali. Just ask him a few questions, did you?
So, you figured it out. If I were as foolish as a Dromus, perhaps I'd throw myself down and prostrate before their greatness, begging for the gods' prophetic wisdom. Well, sorry to disappoint, but I'm no Dromus. Alas, I am a human, standing tall on 2 feet.
Looks like Anaxa is a bit of a
both
humanist.
intellect and
Someone who
pride.
believes that the human will and power can
Before such
overcome
power,
great obstacles.
Does it make any difference whether you're a human or a Dromus?
I'm sure you're familiar with the story of the Styxians. When the raging waves threatened to swallow them, they didn't just give up and become sitting ducks. No. They constructed a dam that kept the roaring tide at bay, chaining down the mad Fagusa. They call me a blasphemer, Xerxes. But that doesn't mean I deny the existence of gods. It's just... as I see it, Titans are simply a force that mankind has yet to find a way to tame.
Ooh, that's a fire line.
Oh, if power that rivals the Titans is what you crave, why not conform to the prophecy and brave the trial?
Why stop at harnessing the power of the Titans when I can do so much more? The source of life is what I wish to grasp, to understand what makes up the soul, and to learn what we really are.
This is something I'm curious about as
Thanks
well,
to
because
you,
this world isn't
I've had
normal.
the chance to personally verify, in more ways than one, that the soul indeed ceases to exist in death. But where there is death, there is life. And where there is an end, there must also be a beginning. How then is a soul born?
Souls born?
That was the only unknown
Joking.
variable left in my calculations.
And by the sound of it, you have already formed a conjecture.
No, I have already drawn a conclusion. In my journey unto death just now, I finally saw the answer with my own eyes.
Professor Anaxa, I'm here.
Yo?
His life hangs by a thread. I must ask you to refrain from taking any unnecessary steps.
Of course. I'll bring this to a conclusive end.
It's
Give you the
Castoris.
answer you so desire. However, in accordance with the principle of equivalent exchange, I must also demand from you what I need.
Oh my god, what is it? I feel like something cool is
As
about
you
to
wish.
happen.
Don't you care to know what the price might be?
It's a matter of uncovering the truth about the Death Titan and his survival.
Hehehe, had been mentioned.
This may be the only time I can ever save someone's life.
Aww.
There is no need for me to think twice.
I see. In that case, let the show begin.
Indulge me. Am I correct to say that you intend to prove Thanatos' whereabouts and prove the nature of our existence now?
Before I begin, I must confess I had been stuck in a cognitive trap all this time. As unrelated as these two propositions may seem at first glance, they are in fact logical equivalents. They are merely two different ways of telling us about what the soul is at its core.
Okay, we're
reason I
really
say
cooking
this
here.
is as I've mentioned earlier. The answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Anaxa, you were in the Netherrealm?
Yes,
Yeah, girl.
I am but a living dead man now, but that's not important. What truly matters is, I overheard a conversation between heroes.
Okay, before that, we get into more of this, let me just kind of make a note of something here. Do you notice that there's like this red symbol on his hand right there? There is gonna be a collaboration with the Fate franchise between Star Rail, and doesn't that just look like a command seal from the Fate series? Although in this particular case, I think this is meant to represent a caduceus, which is an important sign for Greek mythology. I think it's a sign that is connected to Hermes, the messenger god. Now, y'all can look up what a caduceus is on your own. A lot of people find caduceuses, I don't know, familiar because a lot of hospitals use them. But yeah, just pointing that out.
That's not all. Remember how I said you were a part of that conversation too, Circes?
And I've told you that I have no recollection of such an event. That was likely just an illusion conjured up by the mind of a dying man.
Alright, Castoris was there.
Remember. Because that wasn't you. That was Calypso, one of the 7 sages of the Grove.
Calypso is also a member,
Calypso.
an individual from Greek mythology, by the way.
That's the name I made up on a whim when speaking to this girl. How do you know of it? And surely you jest. Don't you think I, of all people, would know if that were the name of one of the 7 sages under the shade of my tree? Don't you claim to know the Grove's past like the back of your hand?
It seems you've lost even the memories seared into your soul. Use your head, Circes. Since all of this took place in the realm of the dead, it stands to reason their likenesses are of souls from the past. The living cannot step foot into that world, so who could they be? Think about Calypso. Why does she share your likeness? Yet you
Because
have no
she
idea who
is
she
you,
is.
dude. The
The
Titans
answer
are people.
Is it not? Those fallen heroes are the mortal incarnations
Yes!
of the Titans before their ascension
Called
to
it.
godhood. The gods aren't master creators born
Yes.
from thin air, and they are no different from humans.
Exactly.
Because they all evolved from one.
Y'all, I just want to say in this moment, you know, this is what reading comprehension looks like. Like, get on
Does
my
this
level.
answer
I'm kidding.
disappoint you?
Yes, because you've answered nothing. If I truly was once human, as you claim, then where do the children of humanity come from?
Even on the off chance that you speak the truth, this brings us no closer to grasping Thanatos' whereabouts. How are we to find them?
I knew you would say that. But it matters not. I know what I'm doing. Actually, why don't we have this supreme being standing before us tell us everything?
You can revive a Titan?
Humans cannot return from the dead. Neither can gods. But all we need to do is look at this from a different perspective, and the problem will resolve itself. The solution is simple. Just like what you did to me. If I'm reborn as Kefali, I can rebuild the world and all within it as they once did.
Okay, okay, that's
Is
a...
it not?
What are you thinking now, Anaxa? Oh, come on, you're gonna cut off right now?
I have news from Hyacinth and Danhung. Anaxa might be trying to do something with Kefali's divine body.
Kefali? But what could Anaxa want? Is the Council of Elders going to sit around and let such a sacrilegious act unfold?
That is not possible. He is indeed the great performer, capable of fooling anyone and everyone with his tricks.
I'm sorry.
No need for guilt, for this is good news to us. The Council of Elders has found themselves a traitorous ally. Anaxa's ambitious desires will be something we can exploit. What we should be doing now is to keep our eyes peeled for whichever trickery Kindness is up to, and react accordingly to thwart her plans. In Akima's political center, the Demigod Council holds just as much significance as the Vortex of Genesis. Someday, after my duty is over, this site will take the place of the battlefield where you hunt gods. Become the next challenge you ought to overcome. Till then, it's best to get used to this place as soon as possible.
Alright, cool.
Preposterous! The Christ Osiers only have their standing because of the Council of Elders. How dare they trample over it?
It's been a while.
Oleg of Emphorius is funny.
That's fine. I recognize you. The young lord has nothing but good words about your courage.
Oleg is a character from the first planet in this
Lord
game.
Prateros. What brings you here in such haste?
Shh. Keep it down. Be more vigilant. See those duplicitous dogs over there? They do the dirty work for Kindness. I've already ordered my people to hold them back, but we should still lay low. Unless you're itching for a bloody fight to get a workout in.
My bad. So, did something happen?
Did you hear thunderclaps last night?
Ha, hooray, it's Acheron, someone's coming to save us.
Thunderclaps are beacon signals of strife. They are a message from the young lord. He threw a spear bearing several words in Akama.
Watch out. The Flame Reaver is back.
Uh-oh.
I guessed as much. We didn't actually kill them back at the Kremnos Arena.
Well, that was a boss that we fought before.
I figured this is something you would want to know. We Kremnoans never back down from a fight. So if you plan to take that thing down in a battle,
Reach out to me anytime.
You have my gratitude. I will let Aglaya know about this right away.
Remind her to be on her toes while you're at it. That vicious kindness has been unusually active lately. Those lackeys she keeps undercover have been going in and out of the city a lot more frequently these days. Some even seem to be getting Kremnoans to defect to the council.
Politicking going on.
That's...
Looks like you can see it for yourself.
We should get back.
Oh boy. Team swapped again. Nice. I'll just go back to this team. I'll swap the both of you out because I need your ult to be on more than Fugue. Fugue's is nice to have, but I need yours to have like maybe 100% uptime. Oops, I didn't change the team. Typical. Let's take a look at Roan Mei behind the scenes. Energy regeneration rate, speed, fire damage boost, defense and break effect, HP, speed, critical hit. What's this trophy I got? Okay, let's just run, you know? I feel like something's about to pop off.
As the Theoros, I have...
Aglaya!
I know about the poisonous fangs of that king snake through the golden threads. In the past, I would be...
What do you...
It is no longer about eloquence or arguments. I have been a demigod for far too long, that I hardly have any humanity left. Before I realized it, this has come a lot sooner than I expected. But perhaps it is time. I need you to step up, Finan, in order for me to retreat behind the scenes.
Yes, this is my duty, but...
It is far easier for the Council of Elders to fool many than just fool one person. Their so-called more support is no more than a ruse. There is no glory in winning this debate. But that makes having respect for humans so much more priceless.
I appreciate what you've taught me, Aglaya. I hope we'll live up to your expectations and win this debate.
Oh, you've done well, Lord Calyptus. Let me take over and personally close this debate for today. Dearest counselors, let it
Why
be
are they
known that
debating?
I sorely miss the blissful times portrayed in lyrical poems. Back then, Amphorius was home to nearly 1,000 cities, each with their own local faith, while gods walked the earth and shared close bonds with humans. Yet, in the present, people from all over are forced to leave their homeland to seek refuge in the holy city, where they hope to rest under Kefali's protection. All of us have long been in the same boat, with no way out of this plight. We didn't have a choice in the past, but now the Council of Elders brings to the table a new possibility. All I have left is one question for you. Would you rather strive toward the unheard of Era Nova, or return to the prosperous Era Chrysia of our
Can't
past?
return back to the past.
Make your choice. Now, which of the two would lead mortals to an ideal future?
all know that Arachrysia is a thing of the past, Lady Kindness. Please, enlighten me. How does the Council of Elders plan to turn back time?
Let the three Titans of Calamity be born, and Arachrysia is nevermore. But bring demise to those Titans, and Arachrysia will descend upon us again. Know that the Council of Elders is never one to make empty promises. Look at who we have on our side. Anaxagoras, one of the Grove's 7 sages. And Castorus, Idonia's goddess of death. With the help of these 2 heroes, I can promise all of you that Arachrysia will exist.
Okay, what's happening here? Are there no twists? Come on, give me a twist.
Aren't they Chrysos heirs? They're supporting the Council of Elders instead?
It's clear from the start that these heroes do not get along well in their group. All the more proof that Aglaya is unfit to speak on behalf of every Chrysos heir. I am in favor of Arachrysia.
Arachrysia! Arachrysia! Castorus? Why are you standing over there?
You finally arrived, Naxa. So have you, Cass.
Don't worry, Aglaya. Well, I know that you have many queries. Could you continue to converse like how the citizens normally do? Tell me, dear citizens, if we successfully retreat and return Thanatos' core flame without anyone passing the Death Titan's trial, what would happen next?
The answer is simple. We will have a chance to rid the world of death and bring Amphorius back
that's
to
not
an
a
era
good
when
idea.
all beings live forever. We'll usher in a new future that will be entirely different from the flame chase journey.
He's one of the 7 sages.
Your proposal is much too idealistic. As long as the Black Tide still exists, how can we go back to the old days?
Remember what I previously said? Kefali's core flame is guarded by the secret power of the Council of Elders. Plus, Fakusa's water curtain will be able to block out any external perceptions. Tell me, dear citizens, have any of you ever seen even a glimpse of the threat that this person is talking about anywhere within the walls of this majestic holy city?
Yeah, but that's because a lot of people do a lot of hard work.
If we eliminate death, then there's no need for us to fear that flame reaver, right? Citizens, let's loudly sing the blessed hymn. Oh, beautiful old world, where are you now? Oh, legendary Arachrysia, return to the mortal realm.
After the destruction of the 3 Titans of Calamity, the flame chase journey will have to end.
This is bad. The masses are now totally riled up.
Anaxa, pray tell. Everything that you've mentioned hinges on the premise that we can find Thanatos' existence, right?
Thank you, Lady Aglaya, for still caring about this city. However, dear citizens, we are truly fortunate and blessed. For Castorus, Idonia's goddess of death, will surely find Thanatos under my guidance.
Oh, really?
What?
With that, I solemnly promise that the core flame Lady Castorus brings back will be personally managed by the Council of Elders. Thereafter, if we are able to garner the support of all of you at the Citizens' Assembly, we shall spare no effort in ensuring that the Arachrysia will return to our world once again.
With the balance shattered, the result is clear. By carefully, Akuma has chosen her destiny. The issue up for discussion at this citizens' assembly shall be modified to the suspension of the flame chase journey. This resolution shall be put up on the Wall of Heroes, such that all citizens are aware of the city's way forward.
Aglaya, dear Aglaya, what has caused your heart to soften? You also don't seem to be as quick-witted as before.
Wag your tongue as much as you like. Since the flame chase journey has been preordained by the prophecy, our failure has never been on the cards.
Prophecy.
Well then, I guess we'll find out if that's true at the Citizens' Assembly.
Alright, you know what? It has been 2 hours since I started streaming, and I think that we've reached kind of a lull in the story, you know, like after a series of major events. So I think that this is actually a really good place to stop the stream for today. Thank you so much for all the people who joined, and I hope y'all had a good time, you know, listening to me chat while I played this game. And Honkai Star Rail still has a version 3.2, still has a little bit more story to give. So I'll be back another time. Perhaps not tomorrow, but sometime soon, where we can hang out again and play the game. Now, I will also be announcing that we are coming back when I am coming back on our Telegram group and also our Discord server. Links to those should be in a lot of our content. But in the meantime, I just want to say a big thank you, and I hope you all enjoyed the time we spent together today. See you next time, where we will continue the story mode of Honkai Star Rail. This has been Mooney with Emmen Gaming, signing off. Thank you, and bye-bye.